Om Shanti Deepshika. Hi Kritika.
Good morning.
Good morning. Right. So, 11 only, right?
We'll be starting shortly. Yeah, 11. Adarsh, I'll share my screen for a moment. Can you please check if it's visible once?
Morning, everyone. Welcome to this special webinar organized by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment on the occasion of International Yoga Day. This event is being held under the of Nasha Mukht Bharat Abhiyan, a national initiative to eradicate drug abuse in India. My name is Deepshikha Goyal, Junior Consultant in Drug Prevention Division, and I'll be a moderator for today. Here with me today are PNU State Coordinators Ms. Kirti Kazudz and Ms. Indu Burma, helping with the back-end assistance. We at the ministry, through our myriad of activities, aim to reach out to the masses, especially youth, women, and education institutions across the country to sensitize them about the harms of drug usage and generate awareness about the essence of engaging in alternative pursuits. You may find out more about the interventions taken under the Abhiyan from our website. The link is shared in the chat box. June 26 is observed as International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. This day promotes global efforts and collaboration towards a world without drug abuse. Today's webinar's theme is promoting yoga, meditation, and mindfulness for a drug-free lifestyle. To begin with, I would like to invite Ms. Kirtika Zutz to give us an overview of the Nasha Mukht Bharat Abhiyan. Kirtika, the stage is all yours now.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Kirtika, and I will be presenting the Nasha Mukht Bharat Abhiyan today. So, our goal through this presentation is to understand the mission, strategies, and impact of this Abhiyan. Let's delve into the details and see how we can contribute to making India drug free. The foundational aspect of this initiative is rooted in our Constitution, as stated in Article 47. To understand the gravity of the situation, the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment conducted the first ever national survey on the extent and pattern of substance use in India in 2018-19. It showed approx 7.3 crore substance users using 58 lakh women and 1.2 crore child users, with the most used substances being cannabis, opioids, sedatives, and inhalants. One of the primary goals of the Nasha Mukht Bharat Abhiyan is to reduce the demand for drugs. This involves focusing on three key areas: primary prevention, treatment, and social reintegration. It leads to mass awareness, rehabilitation, and treatment of the user rather than punishment, destigmatization of substance use as well as substance users, promotion of help seeking behavior among dependents as well as users, and reformation through involvement in social and community work. India's policy on drug demand reduction has six factors: preventive education, awareness generation, especially in youth and children, identification, counseling, treatment, and rehabilitation of substance users, training and capacity building of the service providers, reduce stigmatization and discrimination of substance users, and conduct mass campaigns to create awareness on substance use. Moving on, let's begin with the Nasha Mukht Bharat Abhiyan. It was launched on 15th of August 2020 in 272 most vulnerable districts of the country. On 15th of August 2023, the Abhiyan successfully expanded to every district of the nation, and it was wholeheartedly embraced by the people of India. The objectives of the Abhiyan include creating community awareness, making higher educational institutions substance free, community outreach, augmenting counseling and treatment facilities, capacity building, and focusing on well being of youth and adolescents. The three-pronged approach addresses substance abuse from multiple angles. First, supply curve by NCB. Then second, outreach and demand reduction by Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment and providing treatment facilities. Now, the NMBA implementation structure consists of the ministry at the top, followed by the state level NMBA committees, district level committees, and municipalities or below district level committees, ensuring coordinated efforts. Here are a few photos showcasing the district level NMBA committee meetings. Moving on. Over 8,000 master volunteers have been selected across the nation from diverse backgrounds to work in their districts. They are trained using materials developed by the ministry with support from subject matter experts. Here are a few pictures showing the training of master volunteers at district level. Now, NMBA's reach has been very extensive, impacting over 11 crore people, involving educational institutions, engaging women and youth through various types of activities. We have reached out to over 2.23 crore women through activities led by Mahila Mandals, Asha and Anganwadi workers, women-led rallies and door-to-door awareness drives by Jivika Didis. Over 3.5 crore youth are involved in NMBA through youth clubs, Yuva Mandals, and our social media team has reached out to over 17 lakh people online. NMBA covers 3.34 lakh educational institutions conducting activities including competitions on substance abuse themes, forming drug-free clubs, declaring drug-free institutions, and developing Navchetna modules for drug education. Our community activities include citywide campaigns, awareness runs, nukkad messages against. In hotspots of slums and villages, we undertake various activities such as forming youth clubs, women joint liability groups, organizing community events, training community champions, and establishing a mentor system connecting users to recovered users. Honorable Raksha Mantri addressed the NCC regarding NMBA with 700 cadets being physically present and over 40,000 joining virtually, emphasizing the importance of involving future leaders. We conducted National Oath Against Substance Abuse with 1.67 crore student participants and approx 1 lakh educational institutions. Religious and social service oriented institutions play a crucial role in mass awareness, employing yoga and meditation, counseling through alternative therapies, and structured follow ups to effectively combat drug use. Now, the collects information about on ground activities. How it works is selected master volunteers and district officials input data into the app. The data is displayed in real time on dashboards at district, state, and central level. The NMBA website features a National De-Addiction Helpline, a real-time dashboard, expert forum, discussion pages, and resources for citizens and recovered substance users. You may visit the website for more detailed information. 14446, a dedicated 24/7 toll-free national de-addiction helpline, provides primary counseling, identifies nearest de-addiction centers and counseling facilities, and collects intelligence on narcotic sales. So far, it has received over 4 lakh calls primarily from the youth. We engage the public on social media through IEC posts, activity updates, NMBA news, memes, guides, as well as reels. These updates are shared on a regular basis on all our social media handles. Online activities include competitions, cultural events, panel discussions, and webinars, engaging a wide audience in our initiatives. This webinar is part of the NMBA online activities. Moving on, panel discussions with district collectors and district magistrates, and a monthly newsletter highlighting the updates and initiatives taken by the states under NMBA ensure continuous progress as well as engagement. Coming to the training part, Tapas is an online learning management program by the ministry with 12 modules which are displayed on the screen. Mission Navchetna sensitizes students of ages 11 to 16, teachers and parents on drug dependence, coping strategies and life skills through 9 modules, 4 for grades 6 to 8, 4 for grades 9 to 11 and 1 is for parents. We aim to train 9 lakh teachers and sensitize 2.4 crore students. Now coming to the treatment and rehabilitation of substance users. The National Action Plan for Drug Demand Reduction involves 582 grant and aid institutions, reaching over 3.83 lakh beneficiaries annually. Facilities include 342 IRCAs, 66 ATFs, 74 ODICs, 47 CPLIs, and 53 DDACs. There are 3 types of de-addiction facilities, including IRCAs with 30-day inpatient counseling and rehabilitation services, ATFs set up in government hospitals, and DDACs providing comprehensive de-addiction and counseling services under one roof. These facilities are being strengthened to provide comprehensive services, including primary screening, assessment, medical treatment and referrals, individual and group counseling, recreational activities, family counseling, as well as follow up care. CPLI focuses on early drug use prevention among adolescents by identifying and training youth as peer educators, conducting behavioral change communication sessions, providing individual, group, and family counseling, and referring and linkage to service centers. ODICs provide a safe space for drug dependent youth with services like screening, assessment, and counseling on substance use disorder, referrals to treatment facilities, and follow up care. All our facilities are geotagged, enabling precise location and location tracking and improved accessibility, thus enhancing the efficient allocation of resources and ensuring real-time monitoring for better management and coordination of our services across different regions. With this, we come to the Nashamukh Bharat Abhiyan receiving praises from the Honorable Prime Minister on 103rd Man Ki Baat episode on July 30, 2023, appreciating the contributions of all involved in this campaign. This is the end of the presentation. Thank you so much. Please visit for more information.
Thank you for such a comprehensive presentation, Kirtika. Moving forward, we are hosting this live webinar to guide youth about how yoga, meditation, and mindfulness can help us lead a drug-free lifestyle. Yoga and meditation hold a special place in the success of Abhiyan. These practices are powerful tools that help individuals manage stress, anxiety, and depression, common triggers for substance abuse. By promoting mental, emotional, and physical well-being, yoga and meditation contribute significantly to our mission of eradicating substance abuse. We are honored to have with us today B.K. Veer Abhimanyu ji. He is a certified yoga acharya from Mulaji Desai Institute of Yoga, Ministry of Ayush, a spiritual student of Dhamma Kumaris. B.K. Veer Abhimanyu has displayed a keen interest in yogic practices since childhood, represented his schools in yoga competitions, and conducted drug de-addiction sessions in schools, offices, and community spaces. I now invite B.K. Veer Abhimanyu to start today's conversation on how yoga, meditation, and mindfulness can help us lead a drug-free lifestyle.
All right. Thank you so much, Dipshika, for inviting me, and thank you so much to here. So, if we talk about the yoga's things, the yoga usually we think about the yoga doing a practices like asanas and pranayama. It's not limitized with that. So, yoga works with a holistic approach. So, when I say holistic approach, I cover the aspect of physical, mentally, emotionally, socially, spiritually. So it's work on all the parameters. So when we do a physical asanas and pranayama, it lead to the mental satisfaction. So somehow when we do a meditation and the mindful activities, it give you a kind of you balance out your energy. It help you to discipline yourself. It help you to conduct the day-to-day activity in such manner where you feel yourself that you are doing good, that somehow give you that aspect of yours. It makes you alive in such aspect where you can serve better, you can live better, and you can smile better. So when I say that yoga aspect in the addiction is very useful. So for if I get into the more of this, let's say how the yoga is going to help for drug addiction. So when you do the yoga practices such as meditation, when you do a jyoti dhyan and stool dhyan, so we have a different type of dhyan in yogas. So jyoti dhyan and stool dhyan will help you to concentrate more. When you concentrate more, that would ease you to focus on the things that you wanted to do. That will help you to overcome your anxiety, stress levels, and it also help you to plan up your day-to-day things. So let's say when you focus, you would be easily able to think that you what is the best for you, what is not for the best for you. You would be able to categorize your work. You would be able to categorize your things, which is required, which is not required. So somehow that's linked to the gunas. That's in yoga we usually says sato, rajo, and tamo. Sato is a stage where we consider that the human being be in such mentally, physically, emotionally fit, where he would be able to so better, he would be able to live better in every aspect. He would be able to command on oneself. So yoga is lead to the oneself only. When you have your own command, your own self, you would be able to do everything. When I say drug addiction is just that when we lose control our own self, our own emotion, our own thought process. Yoga is the yoga. I can say yoga is the easiness medicine. So when you wanted to get into the yoga, just think about not only asana, just think about the aspect of overcoming our own self and better understanding of our one being. Yoga is not limited with the physical appearance and the mentally only. It help you to understand how the energy works. It's not the body concept only. It works with the energy as well, because we are the one who run the body. Body we usually in a school days we used to learn. Body is a skeleton. What runs the body is you as energy. When you understand that, the yoga and meditation help you to understand the real one. So there's a story, well famous story, that there's a heron who was looking for that, the the sound and the smell. He was looking outer world, but he was not able to understand that the smell was from inside only. So when we look after the things that we wanted to do this thing, we wanted to cover this thing, the aspect we forget, yoga is based on the oneself only. So when we focus on ourselves and start doing the activity, irrespective of the task, irrespective of the asanas, pranayama, day-to-day work, whatever you're doing, when you focus on yourself, and then it will give you a better outcome. So when you do the yogic practices such as asanas, there are certain asanas would help you to overcome the anxiety and help you to release your happy hormone. That would, because usually what happen in a drug addiction cases, so usually we take a sip, and for example alcohol as well, we usually take a sip and then we get into that. So brains works in such manner, it won't let you know for the next craving. So it works such manner that after having a couple of days that you would be addicted. So now your brain would help you to understand it. Let's say I usually people oftenly take the drink in the evening and smoke in the morning, and so with the regular of use they get addicted, because now the smoke is not run by them, the smoke and the drugs is being running them. So when you do these practices such as yogas, meditation, and mindful practices, it somehow lead to you where you can balance out your thought process. You can understand what is your priority. Let's say I have something that I need to recover, I need to work on. I still can work on, figure it out that I need to work on. So yoga would help you in such manner where you can cater yourself and balance out your day-to-day activity, irrespective you are indulged with any of the habit. You would be your own creator, so that you can create any habit and you can get over any habit. So that's the best thing. Just to give you a bit of it, I used to be a 100 and something the kg. So when I start doing a yoga things, that I was addicted to the food. I was addicted to the other thing aspect of mine. Then I get into the yogas and start doing the practices. I understand that when I was doing the physical activities, it lead to me the mentally one. It helped me to understand that, to figure it out what is the best for me, and I was easily able to overcome those habit that was, you know that was somehow just leading me to the obesity and other works. Right. So that's your own mute.
Yeah, thank you, Abhimanyu, for those insightful words. We will now move on to the Q&A session. So our first question to you, Abhimanyu, is how do yoga, meditation, and mindfulness specifically help in preventing drug abuse?
So when I say the drug addiction or any kind of addiction, you need to understand the aspect how and why it happens. Because when you do this kind of drug addiction, it hormones, like we say happy hormones. When it releases the happy hormone, so you have a couple of thought process, complex thought process. Struggle with the failures, some people struggle with a number of activities, border activities, unknowing activities, which they are not able to overcome. So when you get into the such things that help you to get over it, but somehow leading one aspect is you're just getting into the case where you won't find out any solution, where you don't find out any way out to get out from that case. So when you get into the activity, initially you think that it's going to help you, but after a few days or few months, you are going to recognize yourself and remind that, that somehow you are addicted to this, and now if you wanted to come out, you won't be able to come out. But when you do this practices such as yogas work on your mind, it works on your thought process too. And that's, if you understand how the thought process works, if you understand how I would be able to samat to bhav, so I would be able to manage my own thought process in such manner where it's coming in such manner that I can't control, but I would be able to manage it. Somehow it would lead me to stop that craving that is I'm having, well, due to this activities, when I indulge with the addiction of alcohol, drugs, and other things. So when you do this mindful activity such as meditation, you focus on that, and that's how somehow it give you a boost internally, a kind of satisfaction that you would be easily able to overcome that. When you understand the energies, and when you understand the pranayamas, and you get into that meditation that lead to you to connect you with the oneself. When you get into the oneself, then it give you kind of in a kind of willness that you would be able to come. I seen so many people who lack, who wanted to do so many things, who wanted to overcome the habits, but they're not able to overcome it. But I also seen so many people who has done it. So when I get into the zone, I wanted to understand the reason behind it. I didn't try. There was several friend of mine who was addicted. I tried, but I couldn't. I failed to them. But later on, when I helped them after having a discussion with the successful cases, then I did understand that they told me that we need to get into something which is called discipline. So now the yoga aspect, it get into the picture where we need to design a day-to-day routine. We also need to design the food one as well. So yoga is not limitized with the activity. Again, it depends on the food that you're consuming, on the thought process that you are into, the environment that you serve with, how you can overcome it, what are the key things that you can focus on. So when you get into these details, that you need to wake up in the Brahm Muhurat is the early morning when the nature is the highest form, then automatically wellness of your will lead you to overcome any habit, because what you do in the morning, that you manifestation, that somehow is going to lead to your habit. Then when you do a meditation in the morning, means that you're connecting with your oneself. And when you do that, somehow you all the day is designed automatically. So when I say how it's gonna help them. So once they get into the practice of meditation, that somehow it's gonna help you to lead with oneself, and then you get into your own habit, that you're creating a day-to-day life pattern in such manner that's gonna help you to overcome it. That's 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 only the thing I wanted to.
Moving forward, I request you to shed some light on simple meditation techniques that beginners can start with to reduce stress and anxiety.
Fair enough. So simply we can do a Om chanting. Om chanting is one of the key things that we help in anxiety and depression. And so Om chanting will start with a A, U, Ma. So when we say A, so A should be a 20%, U should be a 80%, and Ma should be a 20%. When we do in such manner, initially you need to practice. How we gonna do it? I'm just gonna give you a bit of it. So how you can get into it, when you take the spinal cord in a straight manner, you need to sit in a straight manner, and you need to relax your upper body. So when I say in a straight manner, you need to sit in a straight manner, and you need to relax your upper body. You need to connect with your inner self. So when we get into the meditation and Om chanting, the first thing that you need to focus is to connect with your own, rather than connecting with the energies around us and the physical appearance. You need to just relax everything. If you're not able to sit comfortably, you can have a chair, you can have anything that make you relax somehow, then you start doing it. So when you get into that, then you start doing the om chanting, then you would be able to understand that this energy flow happens in within you. Somehow there are certain example when we used to do this practices. So I was in a session of Morarji Desai only. I was in a session with them and they were conducting the Om chanting session. So there was a certain feedback after the session we received that they feel somehow that they were having so much of complex thought processes and too much is happening in their life. They was not able to filter it out. They was not able to reach anywhere. But after 5 to 10 minutes of session only, they start feeling it down. They relax. They easily able to overcome that the thought process. And the goal they wanted to get into, the things they wanted to sort out, they was easily able to make it. Then we understand the root cause how it happens. So when you do this om chanting, that somehow you get into the connectivity of yourself. Om chanting is the first phase. Later on, you don't need to chant, you just need to connect with the inner self in such manner that you easily able to connect. So when you do this practices, somehow it's going to lead to you in the mental peace, where you can discard, where you can disconnect from the outer things when you get into that. And that's the best way to get into it. If and the second one is Iswar Pranidhama. Iswar Pranidhama is one of the thing when we surrender everything is happening around me, within me. I become Nimit. Nimit is the surrender one, and everything is happening reason it is designed by the God. So when you get into that is the first way to get of the basic understanding of the dhyan. So when you get into it, it's the easy way to get over everything. So when you get into such state of mind and when you're not able to reach it, just do it. Whomsoever you are connected with, like my mother. So I connect with my mother. When I just recollect my memory with my mother. Somehow I get out from everything. Irrespective, I'm having a discussion. Irrespective, I'm having so much bad days and good days, but I feel connected. When you get into this, the supreme one. So what is supreme one? We need to understand that supreme one is the higher state of being. He's almighty. He's having everything. If I talk about love, he's a sea of love, the knowledge. So when you get into him, so somehow you believe in the factor that it's gonna give the energy. So let's say I remember my mother, so I want to remember the good memories. If I remember a brother, I want to remember him the good and bad. But when you remember the good, you know that he's there. He's look after me. He's gonna take care of everything. So that's one of the things that's help you to connect within yourself when you get into it. And it's the best way to overcome the stress. Right.
These practices and techniques contribute to overall emotional resilience and mental health.
I'm really sorry, your voice is not properly audible.
These practices and techniques contribute to emotional resilience and mental health. Am I audible?
Now you're audible.
Okay. So I'll repeat the question. How do these practices and techniques contribute to overall emotional resilience and mental health?
Okay. So when you do this yogas and pranayama, so we believe in the factor that we need at least we need to spare 1 hour for us as a physical activity. So when you get into the yogas, pranayama, and exercises, practices such as tadasan and such as balasan, such as padmasan, such as Parvatasan, such as Vadasyandrasan, Vajrasan, when you get into this activity, somehow that you just bond your body in such structure. Now it is designed in such structure. So when I talk about the Balasan, when I talk about the Vajrasan, when I talk about, so that's how somehow when you get into that zone, the structure of your body become in such manner that's connect with your brain and help you to overcome that kind of stress and that's kind of you know the anxiety levels. So it also works on your breathing pattern too. So just to get into it, that one of the things that we lack with the stress is, so when you figure it out, there's a person around you is a, like is a stressful. So just see his breathing and her is a breathing pattern. When he inhale, his stomach should be full. When we exhale, his stomach should be inside, but you would be able to see the opposite. So the people who is inhaling, if their stomach is getting inside, trust me, they are the stressed one. So so you would be able to understand when when you're in a stress situation, the body start functioning in different manner, and that's how when you do these activities as such as asanas, pranayama, it leads to you the correction of the body, posture of the body. When you get into the such posture of your body, the system of your body start functioning in a right manner. Is one of the aspect of asanas, pranayama. And the second one, when you get into the asanas, that somehow lead to connect to you oneself only, that with you only. So let's say I'm a very happy being. Okay, I'm today very happy. There's something happens to me is I'm so happy. Now everybody, every task, irrespective of the situation, people who comes across me, I was gonna make their day as very beautiful as I am today. So that's how the energy of yours works, irrespective that you are having a leg pain, man. If you are having a head pain, that's it's not gonna limitize you with that pain only, but the blissness of yours is gonna change everything, irrespective. Let's say my mother was sick in a day and I was sick too, but I later on understand my mother was not feeling well. Somehow that the emotion towards my mother helped me to overcome that fever. I get into the cab. I get into my mother. I took her to the hospital, and later on realized that I was overcome with the fever. Then I understand which I was lacking is then somehow again it lead to the gunas, that the tamas is one of the guna which we lead. So when you have a bad habit like you wake up at late, you go to the bed at very late, you have too much of oily food, outsider food, that somehow it's gonna lead to you in such manner. So when it again reaches to the throughout the drugs addiction, when we get into this asanas, pranayama, it's gonna boost their energy. It's gonna give them something that they can overcome it with. And when they start doing it and they can get into the meditation, that somehow it's gonna help them to understand the real one. And that's would be the best thing they can have to overcome it. Because we have seen so many example in our ashram as well. I met so many people who was initially struggling with the alcohol. They were not able to overcome it, but in the gap of time they spend it with us and start doing the Raj Yoga's practices such as meditation, where we do a iswars, we connect with the supreme one and take the powers. We understand that being in such state, they was able to overcome those habits, and that lead to their sense in a right manner, where they are able to manage their own things. Initially they are struggling with the others. So if they do this pranay practices, that would be the best practice for them. 1 hour is a practices, the heating practices such as asanas, kapal bhatis, and the that's would be help them in best manner.
Can you elaborate on the long-term benefits of maintaining a regular practice of yoga, meditation, and mindfulness?
Fair enough. So let's say if I take about my example only. So as I mentioned you initially, I was very very obesity and very fatty. So I struggled with the one thing that I was not determined. I wanted to do everything, but I gave up easily. So when you get into this kind of things, the people believe in the factor that how long I need to get into. Everybody wanted to get over of the things in like this. They wanted to get into a 1 week, 1 day. Is a day-to-day habit. So when you get into the yogas, if I can get I can have so many examples. So there are set of certain of peoples who start doing the yoga in 21 days. They can see the complete. There was a change in their body. There was change in their emotions. They would be able to understand the emotion graph before 21 days and after 21 days. And then in the gap of 3 months, at least 3 months, if they dedicatedly follow that, that's become their part of life. And you won't be able to imagine that how it's going to help. They would be easily able to do physically exercise, physically works, emotionally. spiritually, socially, they would be very good. And the things they lack with is the motivation within they self. That's gonna lead them to the better being. So when they get into that regular practice of yoga, somehow it's gonna help them to be a better human being, and physically, emotionally, right? That's only the thing I wanted to tell them. If they really would like to get over it, just at least give them 21 days for this. If they get into the 21 days, I can guarantee you they will see a complete difference within themselves. But with the 1 hours they need to spend, that's only the thing high, right? That would definitely gonna help, because I met so many people who were struggling. I usually ask them, I'm a seeker, okay? I usually don't get into the base until I get it. So I spoke to them and figure it out how they are getting into it. Then I realized later on that everything is leading me to the one self only. Then how do I connect with myself? Then the journey of yours is determined by that thought process that I'm consuming on daily basis, the activities I'm surrounded by, and the food I'm consuming. When you get into the yogas, because that's help you to plan your day in a better manner. You wake up early, you go to the bed early, you start avoiding the negativity works and unnecessary works. You would be able to plan yourself. You would be able to understand the breathing body mind concept. And that's how, once you understand the body and mind concept, it would be the best gift that we can give it to anybody to overcome everything, irrespective of the drugs and any addiction. Right, that's all.
Lifestyle of today's generation, and given the busy lifestyle of today's generation and the work environment that constantly puts them under pressure, our viewers would like to know, our viewers would like to have some despite a busy lifestyle or stressful situations.
All right, so I'm a working professional too. Okay, I'm working in a firm where I'm a so and so role I'm into. So how do we do that? So in our Brahma Kumaris, we consider the self that everybody is busy. We cannot really plan a day where we can spend 1 hour, in a different time slot or in a day to day. So then we figure it out in a 1 hour that you need to spend 1 minute. So is we say is a yoga break, you can say is a yoga break, vibe break, and the people say is in different manner. So we in the 1 minute of time frame in a 1 hour, every 1 hour. So it's you're having a cup of water, you can have that. When you're going to somewhere, you can have that. So if we do the vibe break things and the one minute in a 1 hour, in that you just remember the good thing that you're done. Just start giving you as a blessing gift, man. If you start giving you a blessing what you have done, it somehow it's give you new push up. If you connect with yourself, if you do a regular practice, then we is going to elaborate you how you can connect within a oneself, and you can overcome the thought process of the last previous hours, so in a 1 minutes break, that we overcome that activities. Let's say the thought process having in my mind is continuously happening. I have so many reports to prepare. I have a report to submit to my director, as a business meeting lineup. The revenue is up and down. I need to figure it out so many things, and then I have to conduct the training session. Then I realize later on the so many things happening in at the same time, and I'm so much into it that I'm not able to recollect of who I am. Then I'm losing myself. Then I get into the zone and start doing a 1 minute, the the 1 minute of water break. Then I get sip by sip. I start drinking the water and start remembering the supreme one. Matlab, me. That's how I get into my own self. Is when I remember him. So I believe in the fact that the supreme one is the supreme one in every field, irrespective of the knowledge, love, blissness, kindness, happiness, peacefulness. So I get into the zone, whatever I needed, I just collected with from him. So let's say I'm too much into it. I get into the silence for 1 minute. In a yogic state, we have a yogic elder test, and we says when you do the activity, any kind of good work, just quiet yourself for a minute. Just be quiet to yourself. If you wanted to start anything, just quiet yourself for a minute. Quieting, being in peaceful state that somehow is recollecting all the energy invested by you. The energy remain within you only when you start full up with the energy, and when you take a 1 minute of silence break, when you remember the supreme one, the energy that you wanted to take, you can remember that energy. And then after a minute you're going to realize it that, man, the before that the self of yours was indulged with so many things. After a 1 minute of break, that is a different version of yourself. You can do a breathing practices like Anulom Vilom, Nadi Sodhan. You can do a Brahmari in a 1 minute, just depending on you how. But as a busy lifestyles and office works and other works, I suggest them to have at least 1 hour, in 1 hour, 1 minute's break. That's is the best thing that once you get into the bad, trust me, once you lay off and you get into the over your works and you reach home, you still have the same energy then you wake up in the morning. I guarantee you. I've seen so many people who actually indulge with. For example, there is a yoga certification board we have in Ayush Ministry of Mantralaya. There's a acharya. I met him and he briefed me the same thing he was following with the Brahma Kumaris, and later on he is concept and he try himself. He come up with the information that it works in a wonderful manner, because you get over it. You would be the command that is running into that zone, not the situation, not the people. So once you get into the 1 minute of break and then you connect with yourself and you start correcting your energy, you would be able to perform the better. You would be able to recollect and overcome anything that's still it isn't in your command. So that's the best thing if you can do that would help you.
To you is can you share some success stories of individuals overcoming addiction through yoga and meditation?
So as such, like the people I met it, yes. So there was a lady in Morarji only, because I spent my time with them too, and an ashram, and I met so many persons who was alcoholically, smokely addicted. So I spoke to elder sisters, and we were just to get into that. They shared their experience. So we conduct the video session where people are overcome their habits from alcohol and smoke. So what I get into the picture of theirs when I get into that, so I understand then they were struggling it. They need a motive. Okay, people lack with the motive, due to which they're not able to get into the right zone. The people failures, sometimes the emotional, physically, socially, family issues, and there's so much things happening in their life. So what we lead them when we start treating them with the Raj yogas, and they start focusing and they connecting with themselves. They were very busy with the activities. They design their ways, they design their days, so they start waking up morely. This is a lifestyle again. I that somehow it's leading me to the lifestyle. So it's a lifestyle. They wake up early, they start doing it, the body start functioning in a different zone. So let's say the people, if you get into the drug addiction and any kind of addiction patient, or any kind of people who are into that zone, you would be able to see the activities are very lazy. Okay, they are not organized, they are not so much of into it. If they're really addicted, they're the certain, on the other aspect, they're the certain people who are organized too, but they are addicted too. But you would be able to see the tamas gun in that too. So we as a acharya, as a therapist, we get into the in the gunas, so in order to treat the person. So let's say when you figure it out, the person is lazy, he wake up lately, he have excess of food, he has so many outside things, he is indulged with the negative activities. So you would be able to know that the person is, due to which these are the reason, the cause of the disease. These are the reason he is getting into it. We can change the environment, we can change the perceptions when you get into that zone. So when the person who was with us there, the I believe we have 50 plus success story of this drug addiction and alcohol. So the moral of the story was, they start doing the yogic practices, meditation, and start Swardhanam, where they connect with the supreme soul, they connect with the inner self, and their days was very disciplined. They was focusing on the positivities and the aspect. They were getting into the knowledge of spiritual knowledge that helped them. they start doing the meditation. Meditation is not only the lead you to concentrate, it also help you to work on your body language. When you focus on anything and you start recollecting the energy on, your body start functioning in a better manner. Let's say you're breathing, if you really get into into a meditation zone, just see your body pattern. You would be able to recollect. You see the breathing pattern, it remains some means that it works in a beautiful manner. So let's say after a couple of Brahmari pranayama and Anulom Vilom Nadi Sodhan, then I reach to it after a couple of practices. Then I reach to it when I get into the dhyana. Then the breathing pattern of mine start working in the same pattern which I done after a couple of 50 Nadi Sodhana and Anulom Vilom and Brahmari. That's lead me to that state of mind which I start doing in the dhyana. So when you get into the dhyana and meditation, then somehow you would be able to know that everything within you is a peaceful being. You're becoming a peaceful being, you're a happy being. Your thought process, which is somehow dragging your energy, is not around you. So if you get into that, and after doing asanas as well, I was with the, as I mentioned you earlier, I was in a session with the Brahma, in the Morarji Desai of Institute of Yoga. So we were doing a couple of practices like asanas, pranayama, and Injan Dod, Surya Namaskar. So after doing a Surya Namaskar, a couple of set, then we figure it out. The body structure of us is getting better. So once my body structure is getting better, my thought process is refined. So just if you really want like to experience this, just do a 1 hour or half an hour Surya Namaskar. Then it would lead you to the structure of your body. Then somehow the heat of your body would calm your mind. And once you get into the calm of mind, you would be able to recollect and you would be able to make a right decision. But again, it lead me to that my experiences, again it lead to the mental state. So by doing a physical activity, I gets connected with within myself only. So the yoga is somewhere is leading you to connect within yourself and work on your own energies, your own gunas, own virtues such as happiness, peaceness, blissness. So when you get into that energies part, then you would be able to recollect of everything. You don't need to spend 2 hours. Okay, after becoming acharya, I learned one thing from that. So yoga is, every exercise is not designed for everybody. Somehow the exercise which I'm treating you is not useful to the others. It depending on the exercise too. But when you get into the state of mind, I can frame that exercise. So we when we treat the patients in therapy, we treat in such manner where we understand the requirement of the person. The person is doing the exercise not leading anywhere because the mental state of the person is somewhere else. So when you get into the meditation, that's help you to calm your inner anxieties, stress levels. Right. That's the one.
Thank you for answering these questions and sharing your valuable insights. As we approach the end of this enlightening session, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed guest for sharing your valuable insights and experience. Your words have truly highlighted the profound impact that yoga, meditation, and mindfulness can fight against substance abuse. A big thank you to our viewers for joining us today. Incorporating yoga, meditation, and mindfulness into our daily routines is not just about physical health, it is about creating a holistic sense of well being. These practices empower us to manage stress, build emotional resilience, and stay grounded and present in the moment, ultimately contributing to a drug free lifestyle. As we continue our efforts under the Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan, let us all commit to spreading awareness about the benefits of yoga, meditation, and mindfulness in combating substance abuse. Together, we can create a healthier, more resilient society. Stay connected with Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan and continue to be ambassadors for a drug-free life. Let us inspire others through our actions and a commitment to a healthier future. We encourage all of you to connect with us on social media. Links to our NMBA social media platforms are provided in the chat box. I would now request all of us to turn on the cameras for the photograph. Thank you once again and have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you.